There's no one else I think of more than you. Can't seem to forget, get you on my head. Just never exist. I'm crazy over you. How can one be down? Tell me where to start. 'Cause every time you smile, I feel troubles in my heart. Have but one concern. Can I get with you till my day comes? Here's what I'm gonna do. Sitting up in my room, I keep thinking about you. I must confess, I'm a best for, I miss it for you. Sitting up in my room, yeah, I keep thinking about you. I'm just a mess with a day for you. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Anyone know that song? Hey. In that tune. For 20 karma points, name that tune. Ding, ding, ding. To the birthday girl. Don't even get me started on Brandy. That's the goat, as they say. All the notes, yeah. You want to get a master class in how to sing all the notes? Deb Hines. Hey. Wait, Deb Hines, that's what? The blood orange? Mo to the, E to the, Mo to the, E to the. That was the vibe. Can do my yoga class on Yoga International. Which class? I mean, there's a live class happening right here. We don't have any animal spirit card classes. There's no classes where I sing Brandy on Yoga International yet. We get on you email list. Get on it. Get on it. Jump on it. This is what we call a soft start. All right, topic of reflection today. Oh, how do you get on my email list? There's many ways. If you go to my link tree, there's any number of free offerings that I have there that will put you on my list, and you'll get them sent to you. You can also go to my website, which is rockyheron.com. And there's a light box that will pop up that gives you the option to join my community. I'll send you some of these recordings and some music, some good stuff. I did send out an email a few days ago. I don't know if anyone, actually yesterday. Shout out to any of you that read my musings. Sent out a free little neck release sequence that I recorded and some meditations and things of that sort. All right. Topic of reflection today is the 4-letter word, fear. I realized, for me, we talked yesterday about stress. I've been talking every week sort of as a theme. The theme this week seems to be stress and fear. I think I sort of made peace with the fact, peace with the fact, I shouldn't say peace. I think I came to recognize that my body and a lot of our bodies have been responding to and encountering stress hormones, which makes sense. We're animals that are being told that our environment isn't safe and that other people are not safe and that we cannot run away, but we have to stay put. So you tell any animal that they're not safe, that they're in danger, and that they cannot run, and they're going to produce
stress. They're going to experience stress, they're going to produce adrenaline, cortisol, so on and so forth. So, I'm grateful for my yoga practices, I'm grateful for meditation, I'm grateful for all these things that we can do to help mitigate stress. But the largest thing that contributes to stress is danger. Now, it occurs to me that I am not in any sort of danger, at least that I can perceive. But I have been fed a story that is producing the response, or producing fear. Now, I don't know that I right now am afraid, but fear can be kind of insidious, and it can be it can kind of compound over time. For me to walk outside of my apartment, I put on a mask so that I don't breathe in the air, or don't breathe out into the air, because I'm afraid of the air. And that's a troubling thing to be afraid of. There's just general toxicity. And I also am aware that here's what I'll say. I've been introduced to some information recently that I don't necessarily feel qualified or eager to share yet on a platform like this, because it might fall under the umbrella of what we might call conspiracy theory. I'm also aware that conspiracy theory is a nice way of labeling truth as crazy by people that don't want you to believe it to be true. So what I will say is that I've found it sort of odd that the trails that I would otherwise go hiking on and use to get out in nature in Los Angeles are closed. That the beaches are closed. That airplanes are open. You can go on an airplane, but you cannot go to the beach. You can go into a grocery store, but you cannot hike on a trail. You can not congregate in groups larger than 10 people, but you can wait in a line with 30 people outside the grocery store to get in. And just the amount of differing information that is being presented about how this virus spreads, or, well, I'll leave it at that. I'm not saying coronavirus isn't real. I believe it's real. I am somewhat inclined to believe, I think I have actually already had it. I think that a lot of people have already had it. I think probably more people have already had it than we realize. So the question is, what activates it to a point where it becomes critical for somebody? And I have some theories about that too. What I will say is that I think that one useful way of controlling people is by activating their fear response. Because when you're afraid, you don't think as clearly. Your frontal cortex can shut down. You can move into a place of stress and overwhelm, and it's much easier to be manipulated or to be controlled. So I think it's really important, regardless of what you believe, I'm not suggesting they shut down the grocery stores. That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm just saying it's an odd type of pandemic. Anyway, my point here is not to convince you that coronavirus isn't real, or that's not the point of Rise and Shine. My point here is that I myself am questioning things that I've been fed that have produced a sense of fear within me. I know that when I'm in a fear response, my body doesn't function so well. And a big part of what's been contributing to that, I think, for me, is fear of others and the safety of being around other people. Now, again, I'm not saying go out and hug everyone and don't leave home without your mask on. That's not the message. But I do think it's important that we continue to question what it is we're being told to be afraid of. I heard a quote last night that fear is not real, but danger is. And oftentimes when we are being told to fear something, it's something in the future, something that could happen. It's sort of like the analogy that I heard is, you can be in your room and there's a sound of like a ferocious dog outside of the door, and you're told don't go outside, that dog will get you. And if you open the door, you might find it's just a tape recorder of a dog. Meanwhile, there's like a saber-toothed tiger that's behind you. Now, the idea is that we are able to assess when and if we are in danger, and able to mitigate when we're being fed fear that is causing us to deteriorate and destruct. So if I do have a message, it's not really one about fear or danger, it's actually one of love. And I'm curious to reflect, and for us all to reflect, on what it is that we currently feel fear of, if anything, how that fear is affecting our bodies, our minds, our hearts, and to replace that fear with love, or to, at the very least, reflect on equal parts what it is that we love, and which feels more true, right? We have to be the ones to discern what is true, because there's a lot of information that's going to be coming our ways, that is coming our ways. Many of that information is well-meaning. Much of that information, I would suggest, is not well-meaning, and maybe being offered in an attempt to control. Fear is a very powerful emotion that you can use to control. So, what are you afraid of? Maybe it's unrelated to any of this. Maybe it's being activated by this. Something else that's occurred to me, I think I mentioned it yesterday, is that if you are telling the citizens of the world collectively that there is something very real that we must all be afraid of, and it's not just this. I mean, we've been fed a lot of fear, fear of climate change, fear of the ramifications of different political figures being elected, fear of each other, fear of nuclear weaponry, fear of now our atmosphere and each other. There's a tremendous amount of things that we are being told to be afraid of, and I'm not saying those things aren't dangerous, but I think it's important that we don't just absorb all of that. So lack of freedom, yeah. It's, as I was saying before, you tell an animal that they are in danger and that they are not free to flee from that danger, and you've got yourself a pretty fantastic cocktail for, at the very least, stress. For me, the panacea, the remedy for fear is truth. And what I know to be true right now is that in this moment I am not in any danger. In this moment I am connected with you all, even though I can't see you. I'm grateful for the resource of the internet for many reasons, one of which is that there are outlets and channels for truth. A lot of it is censored, but a lot of it can still be found. And I'm grateful to know that I do possess the inner resources to keep myself in balance, regardless of the circumstances. Now, it doesn't mean that those circumstances won't produce fear, but I realize that a lot of the stress that I've been encountering has been a result of me sort of furthering the fearful narratives that have been that I've been convinced of. So I'm still going to wear my mask. I'm still going to go outside and be mindful and respectful of others' space. But I'm going to continue to investigate what it is that we are being told, and think critically about what actually makes sense to me, given the information. Okay. We need to get outside. We need nature. We need connection. We need each other. We need to stay safe, and we also need to stay connected. So that's what's up in my neck of the woods. I'm going to pull a card because there seems to be more and more things I want to facilitate in these sessions, and time is not slowing down but only speeding up. Feel free, if you do want to journal or reflect on fear, I invite you to mute me while I do this and spend a couple minutes. All right. I think I've effectively shuffled this deck enough. 20 minutes of shuffling. Just waiting for a card to jump out at us that gives us what we need to know today. I think it works if I go inside and pick. It would be incredible if, it would be incredible if here. Okay. I was gonna say it'd be incredible if ostrich popped out, but we get bear today. I don't know that I've pulled this card yet. What should be about fear? I'll throw this deck across the room. So, bear is an earth card. I'll read you a bit about earth first. Creatures of the field and the forest. The suit of survival and instinct. Earth creatures represent our relationships with fears and habits. There you go. In general, the creatures of this suit are grounded, dependable, and supportive. However, since they're so drawn to routine, they often become stuck in their ways. I'm an earth sign. Shout out to all that. Several earth cards indicate that consciousness remains rooted in the material plane, or, as referred to in yoga, the gross realm. It's also called sometimes Annamaya Kosha, the food body. This means practical concerns, money, home, work, and family are at the forefront of the mind, not leaving room for much else. Movement and exercise are especially helpful to counter the stagnation or stuckness that can accompany excess earth element. Morning, Mom. Okay, what am I doing? I'm looking for the bear. Virgo in the house. Yeah, okay. All right, so the bear is about waking from spiritual slumber, beginning anew. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move towards the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles, but you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes and the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. Hey, hey. When in balance, the bear brings inner strength and a yearning to grow. When out of balance, the bear withdraws, experiences lethargy and heaviness. To bring into balance, movement and exercise. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. I'm going to continue to educate myself and dive into some of the information that I've been presented with, and I will find the most appropriate way to share it with you all as I see fit. I think it is important that we continue to investigate truth and continue to root out fear and continue to engage in the practices that help us to stay aligned to our power. I'm sure we could maybe we'll start like a private Rise and Shine Facebook group resource center. I have hope in all this. I have hope. I believe that we are on the precipice of a new paradigm, and it's exciting. It's intimidating, but it's exciting. So thank you guys for being on that journey with me. So what do we do today? We can do some meditation. We can do some EFT. We'll do a little bit of movement. Any requests? These are becoming total request sessions. Are you guys just blown away by how youthful and fresh I look? And tired and exhausted? I'm not exhausted, I'm just coming online. Okay, let's do a meditation today. All right. So we're going to do, what I'm interested in right now is strength and love. And I'm going to cultivate strength with breath, and we'll cultivate love through heart. So we'll do 3 rounds of Kapalabhati, which is breath of fire. Yes, I am quite the Virgo. I'm not sure what I just did that was full on Virgo, but it is true. I don my Virgo title proudly. I can't escape it. So we'll do our Kapalabhati pumps. And when we do these, like, imagine that you were like pulling something into you. It's sort of both. Like you're pulling something in, pulling in what you need, whether that's strength, whether that's love, whether that's like clarity, power. And as you pull it in, you're also kind of pulling yourself towards it. So it's sort of like a pull up and a row at the same time. These are all facts. I am me, and I am a Virgo. Okay. Let's do it. So take a comfortable seat. Take a deep breath in and out. Breathe in and out. One more time, breathe in and out. Close your eyes. Reach your arms up overhead. Sit tall. Deep breath in. Breathe out part way and 30 pumps. Reach your arms up. Breathe in. Hold at the top, spread your fingers, and radiate. And release. So we pull in energy, and then we radiate that energy. If you want to be more specific and direct that to somebody, something, some intention, right, some particular frequency, yogi's choice. Inhale, arms up. Breathe out part way. Begin again. So you can go through your mouth or your nose. breath in. Arms up, stretch, expand, radiate, and release. Deep breath in and out. And one more. Inhale, arms up. Breathe out halfway and begin. Pull in your strength for the day. Big breath in. Hold, stretch, and radiate it outwards. Exhale, release your arms. Let's place one or both hands over your heart. Breathe in and out through your nose. We haven't done this in a little while, but useful daily practice just to calibrate your head and your heart. We do that via breath and awareness. Place your awareness in your heart. As you breathe, have the sense that your breath can move into your heart and out from your heart on the inhale and exhale. Even can you feel the breeze of your breath blowing through your heart as you breathe in and out. So, some fun facts and reminders. If we were to hook up your brain and your heart to feedback machines that could measure their pulsations, their frequencies, you'd find that both your brain and your heart emit a pulsation, emit thought, emit energy, frequency. But that the frequency of the heart is much more potent and can be felt from a much broader radius around you. Our brains are like these supercomputers that have evolved to a certain extent over time to keep us safe from danger. When we are in the fight-flight response, when we're in a stress response, our brains activate to problem solve and keep us safe. But we're not meant to live in our brains. While our brains might be good at keeping us out of danger, they're not the most creative, generative, powerful mechanisms of creation. Really is the power that lies in the heart. Perhaps the most powerful way to thwart someone's creative power and potential is to put them in a place of survival, to activate their survival need, and to shut down the power of their heart. So as you breathe in and out to and from your heart, let your heart come online. Let the power and potency of the heart, your heart, begin to influence and entrain coherence in the frequencies of your brain. So when the heart leads and the brain follows, experience resonance through our body and our mind. The resonance that informs optimal function of your organs. The resonance that influences the field around you to likewise shift into more organized, coherent patterns of well-being. The resonance that can pierce through confusion to the heart of things, to the truth, to clarity. Keep your hand on your heart if you wish, or you can release it. Continue to breathe into your heart. Let's further activate our heart energy with some gratitude, some appreciation. So gratitude might look like things that we are grateful for, things that we have, that we are thankful for. Appreciation might look like just aspects of life that we find magnificent, that we appreciate. Not because we have them, not because we've overcome something to get to them, just because they are. Can you drop into your heart and activate 3 things for which you feel profound appreciation? Perhaps the spinning of our planet in perfect relationship with the other planets and the sun. The water, the trees, the animals, the colors, textures of life on Earth. The inexplicably brilliant synthesis of functions in your body. The fact that with every breath you take, trillions of cells are oxygenated without you having to do anything. Your food digests and your blood pumps, your motor skills coordinate to carry out your function. Just life is so thick with intelligence and harmony. And now can you drop into your heart 3 things for which you feel grateful, 3 things that you've experienced in your life. Maybe people that have come into your life, circumstances that have unfolded before you in magnificent ways, things you've accomplished or been fortunate enough to experience. Feeling gratitude for the benevolence of these forces of life that organize and coordinate opportunities for you. Connections, moments in time. And finally, can you drop into your heart 3 things for which you feel profound love. Love and appreciation can be similar, maybe even the same frequency, but what does love feel like to you? What does it feel like to be in love? In love with life, in love with someone, in love with something, in love with self. What is love? Perhaps even, what does it feel like to be loved by life? And if you can love and be loved, perhaps you yourself are love. Liquid love. If we are made of and from love, it would make sense that it would feel so unusual and so disorienting to be stuck in a cycle of fear. It's unnatural. So take a few more breaths into and out from your heart. Breathe in love and breathe out love. And finally, feel free to direct and send this love somewhere on our planet, somewhere in the universe, into the hearts of others where it may be needed. We awaken together little by little, moment by moment, day by day, meditation after meditation, breath after breath. And place one or both hands over your heart once more. Touch yourself. Touch your heart. And offer appreciation to yourself. For taking the time to reset to your natural state of coherence and love and power. Deep breath in and out. Okay, open your eyes as you're ready. Come back. That did the trick for you guys. It's nice for me too. Alright. So, let's warm things up here. I'm not going to smack myself today, but I am going to brush off any of these dead energetic cells that I don't need anymore. So scrub yourself clean of any residual fear, stress, confusion, anything that isn't who you are, just let that kind of like fluff off. Put my glasses on. Okay. So we got at least 10 minutes here. I'll be a little brief here with our movements, but let's try some familiar and some different things. That's the vibe. Technical difficulties. Okay. Neck. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with your neck. Stabilize yourself. We're going to go first in deflection. So chin to chest, head back. Just nod your head back and forth. And then we'll do a lateral bend right and left. Okay, and then let's do rotation. Look to the right and to the left. And then we'll put the movements together. Head to the right, lean to the right rather, rotate, look up, and then chin to your left collarbone. Rotate, look up, head to the right, rotate to the left, rotate. So figure 8 with your head. Come to the center. Okay. Go into your thoracic spine, roll your shoulders back, take your chest up, roll your shoulders forward, round your upper back. Let's pick up the pace a little bit. So inhale, arms back. When you exhale, arms forward. Almost like Kapalabhati. You could try reversing the breath. Like a chest bump. Release. Do your shoulders. So let's do both arms up. Reach all the way up. We'll come down so you can see. And turn your palms out and stretch back. Go up. Turn. Stretch back. Up. Stretch back. Reverse. Press your arms back. Go up. Turn your palms in and go forward. Again. Now let's go back to the first direction and we'll pick up the pace almost like a wind turbine. Let this be almost like an extension of the pranayama practice. So you get to sort of stoke the energy around you and within you. Other direction. Your elbows. So reach up with your palms, spin your palms forward, press down. Spin your palms up, bend. Spin your palms forward, press. So like this. And let's keep the pattern going, but extend your shoulders. So you're kind of pressing, you're scooping up and pressing back. Scoop up, press back. Pick up the pace. Like whatever's in the past, you don't need to bring with you into the future. Just clear your space. Good. Make fists with your hands. Extend and flex your wrists. Turn your palms up, circle your wrists. Now extend your fingers, straighten your elbows, squeeze and extend through your palms. And then let's make this a bit more dynamic as well. So with your thumbs, cover your fingers, build up some like pressure, and then flick. Just with or without your breath. Okay, you can go arms up. Arms can go to the side. Arms can go back, but again, think about either like sprinkling some joy in your environment or clearing the space of those particles that are not needed. Okay, you can shake your hands, shake your wrists. All right, let's go into your spine. Want to do here? Yeah, let's actually do one more thing for your shoulders. So we do this sometimes. We'll take your elbows up. As your elbows go up, lift your shoulders and your shoulder blades up. Lift your chest up, and then turn your palms forward and pull your elbows down. So you'll do this sort of wave-like action. And you can start to pick up the pace. It's almost like you're picking up a sheet and fluffing it. Okay. So for your spine, let's try this. We'll start first with your arms sort of in this crossed position. So you can bring your arms either here, or you can also give yourself a hug. Okay. Shorten through your torso. Okay, so you'll start by moving your elbows down, and then elbows over to the left. And then you're going to point your elbows up, take your shoulders back, paint over to the right, and then down into the center. So do that again. Go in the other direction. Pelvis, do some tipping and tilting, interior, posterior. And then lateral tilts through the pelvis. That's right, left. And then put it together. Right, tuck, left, tilt. Circle through your pelvis. You can go in both directions. Okay, now put spine and pelvis together. So your arms can kind of dangle. Imagine you were holding onto weights. Okay, shift the weights over to the left. Bend your knees a bit, let the weights pull you down, and then slide the weights over to the right, and then pull the weights up. And as they start to come up, you can turn your chest, take your left arm back, go into a little extension, and go over to the left again, take your right arm forward, pull yourself down. So kind of pick up that pace. Feels okay and stable. You're able to stabilize the movement. It can be a little faster. On both directions. Let's go into your hips. So stand on your left hip, take your right knee across your body, then over to the right, and then back down. So take this circle with your right hip, and then change directions. And then take your right foot back behind you. And let's make this a little more active. So you can take your arms up. Much like in the pranayama, you're going to pull your arms down. As you pull your arms down, your right knee is going to go over to the left. Use an exhale. Activate your core. Okay, let's switch side. Oh, slow first, left side. Circles. Reverse. And then we'll do knee thrusts across to the right. And release. Okay. Let's take your legs back behind you and we'll do some hamstring work. So tuck your tailbone forward, pull your left heel towards your butt. Set it down, lift and lower. And then switch sides. And then a little faster, like you're kicking behind you, go back and forth. Okay. Let's take it into your knees. Circle your knees. I would say all these movements are good for attraction, power. I'm purposefully having us do the mobility work and then actually add some either plyometric or forceful energy to them. You couple that with an exhale. It really is like the advanced pranayama, and you know, the pranayama practices are performed to kind of dust off your energy system and increase your attractive power, attraction power. You know, the more we're sort of operating from a place of fear or diminished capacity, we lose attraction power. And when we lose attraction power, we start to become more assertive and we try to go out and get the things that we need as opposed to letting them come to us. So these kind of practices also works on your hormonal system to increase your vitality and increase kind of your magnetism, so to speak. So that's what we're up to. All right, circle your ankles. Circle in both directions. Okay. And then you can pedal your feet. Can't really see my feet, but I'm just lifting my heels. Let's end with some full body plyo movements. So rock towards your heels and towards your toes. Press your arms back as you lift to your toes. You can start to jump. Good morning, Flavia. My downstairs neighbor is underneath me right now and also on the live stream, so it's like a three-dimensional interactive experience. You can bounce. And land. finish with some movements in your shoulders and your arms. So we're gonna go for some punches in the same way that we pull energy in, and we're gonna thrust it out. Okay, so we'll do some lunging punches side to side. So you can shift to the left and throw a punch to the left, to the right. Use your exhalation. And if there's things that you are working on releasing, whether that's fear or whether that's stress, disempowerment, confusion, you know, it's okay to direct some vigorous energy towards the takedown of those frequencies. Come to center, take a breath in. And then we'll take the energy upwards, up at the diagonal. Last movement we'll do, I think this will be the last. You're gonna fold your arms, okay? Now imagine you were in like a straitjacket of fear that you were gonna break out of. You're gonna start to turn, you're turning from your core, side to side. You're trying to break free. Squeeze through your abdomen, turn through your belly, use your breath. And we'll break free in 5, 4, 3, 2. Free your arms. And turn, move. Move in whatever way feels good. Instagram tells me that it's going to cut me off in a minute, so that's the extent of you throwing a fit with me, but you can keep going if you need some more time. Take one hand to your heart. Take a deep breath in and out. So, as always, the next recommended practice is cold shower. 20 seconds in the cold shower, and then carry on. I'll be back again tomorrow. We'll do this again. We'll rinse and repeat. We'll keep piercing through the fear and keep inviting in the clarity and the power that we need to be conduits of positive change on this planet in this time. Okay? So don't believe everything you read. Look for what's true. Stay true, and much love. Peace, guys.